The Lotus app decides that our guest will go first. A quick first 2 turns around the table sees only one play with a turn 2 Talisman of Conviction from Quinn. A more eventful turn 3 begins with a Baron Strucker Hydra Overlord from the guest. My turn 3 is a T'Challa the Black Panther making a Vibranium token when he entered. Braxton plots an Outcast Trailblazer for his turn and passes to Quinn. On his turn, he casts Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. The guest's turn 4 is a Green Goblin, conniving with Baron Strucker, and then casting the Grim Reaper's Scythe. On my turn 4, I cast a Mystic Forge. Putting 2 counters on my commander from the cast, I then attack Quinn for 4 commander. Braxton's turn 4, he then casts the plotted Outcast Trailblazer, followed up by his commander, drawing a card from the Trailblazer and making the wall. On Quinn's turn, he casts his commander, Director Nick Fury, and then passes to our guest. The guest starts off his massive turn by playing MODOK and Conniving from Baron Strucker. On my turn after I draw, I activate the Mystic Forge, then activate the Great Mound to make a Vibranium token, and then cast Zuri, Warrior of Wakanda. I then attack Quinn for another 4, reduced down to 3 because of MODOK. Braxton's turn 5, he plays Kadric, drawing from the Fantastic Four. On his turn 5, Quinn casts the Vision and Scarlet Witch, and then attacks into Braxton's wall. He then forgets to reveal what he got off of his commander. Before the Green Goblin's turn, I cast Dispatch targeting MODOK. Starting his turn with a Citizen 5 Helmet Zemo conniving off of Baron Strucker, discarding from Connive, Tombstone, and casting him from the grave. This makes him a 2/2 zombie from the Grim Reaper's Scythe. Next he follows up with the Inner Demon Gangsters. He then uses its ability to discard Mysterio, casting it from the grave, making 6 3/3 villains. This also makes him a 2/2 zombie. Another thing that occurred this turn is Quinn cast a King T'Challa to draw a card before that first connive. Starting my turn, I activate Mystic Forge, exiling a Resourceful Defense. I then move to combat and attack Quinn with my commander. Deciding that enough has happened since the last turn, I then follow up with the Vanquish the Horde. After that, I then follow up with the Hatut Zuras Strike Force. This enters and I destroy the Grim Reaper's Scythe and the Talisman of Conviction. Deciding after the previous events it's best to set up, Braxton casts a Hedron Archive and follows it up with a Court of Bounty. Still on rebuilding, Quinn plays a Talisman of Progress and then finishes his turn off by casting his commander, Director Nick Fury. Following everyone else with rebuilding, our guest only plays his commander, the Green Goblin. On my turn, I cast my commander, T'Challa, the Black Panther. I then follow it up by activating the Great Mound, creating another Vibranium token. I then move to combat and steal the Monarchy from Braxton by attacking it with a 2/2 Atut Zuras Strike Force. With that, I draw a card as I pass the turn. Continuing to rebuild, Braxton plays the Clone Saga, putting 2 into the grave and 1 on top. He then follows that up by casting the Helm of the Host. Finally getting re-established, Quinn casts Falcon and Redwing, and then moves to combat and attacks Braxton with his commander. He looks at the top 4 and puts a hero to hand, revealing a Captain America. Moving to his second main, he casts the Captain America Skybound he revealed off of his commander. He then passes the turn to our guest. After being punished most by that board wipe, our guest plays Baron Helmut Zemo, and then follows it up with Robot Domination. I start my turn by deciding I don't like the top card. I then activate the Mystic Forge, exiling it. I follow it up by casting Traxos, Scourge of Krug. After that, I cast a Rust Goliath and I move to combat. With the 4 counters from casting these 2 artifacts, I then hit Braxton for 6 more commander damage. This nets me another Vibranium token. After ticking up the Clone Saga, Braxton casts his commander, the Fantastic Four. The Clone Saga then copies his commander as a non-legendary copy. With both of these entering, he decides to just make 2 0/4 walls. Deciding the Green Goblin is still a threat and needing to cast a removal spell to trigger his commander again, he casts Inspired Fire, removing the Green Goblin. This allows him to draw 2 cards from both of his commanders. Robot Domination also triggers hero, losing the guest a life and drawing him a card. Quinn starts his turn by becoming the threat and casting Avengers Assemble. This pumps all of his creatures by +2/+2. He then immediately moves to combat and throws all 3 of his creatures at me. On attack, his Captain America puts a count on each of his creatures and makes them indestructible. I block Falcon and Fury, taking 6 from Captain America Skybound. On our guest's turn, he's desperately trying to keep a board and casts Dr. Octopus. Doc Ock then draws him 4 cards at end step, getting him to 8. I start my turn by exiling the top with Mystic Forge in my upkeep, drawing for turn. I then see off the top a way to win the game. Needing to find a way to draw it, I then realize the Great Mound has a draw effect, so I pay the mana, tap it, and draw a card. With my recently found potential win, I cast an Overwhelming Stampede. This gives all my creatures +10/+10 and trample because of the Rust Goliath. I then move to combat, sending 2 creatures, the Rust Goliath and my commander at Quinn, and then 3 other creatures at the guest. Before blockers, I cast Erode, destroying Doc Ock. Starting his turn, Braxton casts a Copy Crook as a copy of the non-legendary copy of his commander. When this enters, each of them make a 0/4 wall, making 3 total walls. He then follows this up by casting a Luminous Broodmoth. On cast, all 3 of his Fantastic Fours trigger, dealing 9 damage to me. Moving to combat, he attacks me with 4 with a copy of his commander. This triggers the Clone Saga, drawing him a card. On my turn, looking to build up my defenses and create the Rumbling, I play a Diamond Weapon, and then follow this up by casting a Metalwork Colossus. Looking for a solution, I activate the Mystic Forge, still not finding any, and then I move to combat. I attack Braxton with a Rust Goliath and a Traxos Scourge of Krug. Starting Braxton's turn, the Court of Bounty puts into play a Clever Impersonator. This copies the non-legendary copy of the Fantastic Four. He then moves and equips the Helm of the Host onto his commander. Moving to combat, he makes another non-legendary copy of his commander. Each of these copies had entered and dealt 6 total damage to me.
We're gonna pay 5 mana on that. Cataclysmic Gearhulk.
Okay.
On the cast, 9 damage.
I don't know what's going on with that.
So I did all of the damage I could. But we're gonna have it enter the battlefield, so each player features an artifact, a creature, and a enchantment, and a planeswalker, and sacrifice.
And then you just choose to keep the Luminous Broodmouth. All your guys come back, and they'll all deal 3 damage.
That is true, yeah. All the non-tokens will come back.
Yeah.
Which is this. Well, yeah, there's 3 of them, so yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Yep, that's GG. Out of Crucible of Worlds. The next card is the ship.
Oh, I hate that.